I look at a business like a marriage, right? You have two individuals, one maybe a Jewish female versus a male Muslim. You know, they fall in love. Now, granted, the thought of love is perfect, but when you get really into the nuts and bolts of the culture and how they live their life, it's totally separate. So, granted, it can certainly work. You know, from the mental standpoint, thinking about it, okay, yeah, we stay on the same page, but can it last? That's the question. It gets difficult. It gets difficult.
Inevitably, there's a goal. You know, so in any business plan, being that I'm in the financial industry, you know, there's profits, there's losses. You know, so certain things should never come into play simply because, you know, we're here for that common goal, but inevitably, at some point, there's something that's going to come up that's going to affect the business relationship from an emotional standpoint. You know, I got numbers and I got goals. I have certain points that I want to get to with the business. But then if there's a difference in, you know, culturally diverse, there's going to be something that comes up, but how you handle it will show the true depth of the business.
Right, and that's what I think about. I think about when you think about I always allude a business partnership to a marriage. Again, so you come, say the Jewish female and the Muslim male, they have a kid.
Right.
You know, how are we going to raise this kid? Jewish or Muslim?
You make a good point, but you can't really compare a marriage up to a certain extent, because you can't really compare a marriage to a business partner.
Because I can go home at night. I ain't got to do it.
Like once we lock up the door, I'm like, all right, Jamar, I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Right. But think of the emotional standpoint.
Yeah, the emotional standpoint, of course, like what's going on right now, the political race.
Right.
Because if your business partner is a Democrat and you're a Republican or vice versa, of course, you guys can have an open, educated conversation about it, but at the end of the day, as long as you know you have a mutual respect for that person, and at the same time, that's minor compared to your common goal,
right.
Is what? Financial security, financial stability, build this business, growth, all that is minor compared to where you both want to go.
Right.
Again, it comes back to something of like a marriage, where at a certain goal for a marriage, we want to be retired at this age, we want to have this type of amount of money, we want to have this type, how many kids. So it's common similarities, but not all the ways.
See, and I just look at it and definitely understand that we're such emotional
creatures.
Yeah,
right.
Creatures. So
if you don't feel good, you're not going to do good.
Exactly. You may have a goal. You may have, okay, listen, we're going to, and now we'll transition it from the marriage example to the business partner. Okay, you and I. Listen, we want to build this business 30-folds in 12 months.
Right.
Okay. You may have a point of view, I may have a point of view. We have that common ground. But what about when it comes to, say for instance, you may go into your fasting period, right? And what is it, 30 days, I believe?
Yeah.
From
sun up to sundown.
Sun up to sundown. And I'm assuming, being a Christian, not knowing how that feels to sun up to sundown, not eat, you may feel a little grouchy. You may get grouchy. And that may affect how we communicate.
Right.
You know, and those are just some of the things that come into mind. Obviously, that's something that we would need to discuss going in to ensure that, you know, that doesn't happen. But that's just one of the examples that I think of.
But as coming from a current business owner, you're going to have arguments.
Right.
You're going to fight. You're going to, man, I'm going to knock this dude's head off.
Right,
But you know what? At the end of the day, that's what builds a business even stronger and even better. Because you get to you understand that person. Again, it's like a marriage. You understand your business partner. You tolerate your business partner. My business partner is my brother.
Okay.
Man, sometimes I want to rip his head off. But you know what? At the end of the day, I'm like, oh, you know what? It's because if you're not, if it's too perfect, something's wrong.
So it has to be some type of cohesiveness.
Yeah, you have to
with
have
dysfunction going
right.
on.
Just like when you have a perfect desk and everything is in order. Honestly, that means nothing's getting done.
Right.
That's right.
True.
Now, if your office is messy and phone calls are out, off and on, and you're all over the place, that means your business is what?
It's
boom.
Something's going on.
Something's going on.
Right.
So, and when you come back to your question, of course, me fasting, it won't have a big role in it because I'm used to it. But you know what? You as a business partner, and before we get into it, I'm be like, yo, Jay, at this time of the month, I'm gonna be doing this. As long as you have open communication, again, it comes back with respected dialogue, respected beliefs. Again, when it's Christmas time for you and you want to take 2 weeks off, you tell me,
Respect that, right.
hey, yo,
Right.
I need 2 weeks
Communication
off.
is
It's
key.
communication.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a super part of that whole deal. I mean, if you're not talking about it, you have no idea what's going on. It's like, am I supposed to read your mind?
Right.
I really can't read your mind. When we opened this business and we started doing things together, we actually plan things out. So even on a day-to-day basis, there has to be constant communication.
What basically all three of us are saying, yes, it can be done,
Yes,
but it must be open communication.
Open.
all day long.
Clearly open communication.
Call it a marriage. You got to talk.